Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Drafting to Win. This is a series designed to teach some lessons and bring some value to you. If you are a Magic Arena player, you like to draft, watch these videos, gain some insights, enjoy the games, enjoy the commentary. I've got a lot to say. I don't quite know how to package it so it best gets out there, but I'm working on it and I'm open to feedback. Enjoy. So, today we have a Kaladesh Premier Draft. I went 5 wins, 3 losses. I probably, due to a slight mess up at the last game, I probably should have gone 6 wins, but I'm having a lot of fun drafting this set. So far, I'm going infinite. I'm not spending more than I'm making off of them. So to me, that's a pretty good record. I'm doing something correct. I have a history of doing really well in draft. So I've got something to, if I could just articulate how I'm getting these wins, that would be of use to other people. So let's get started with this game. Okay, we got our opponent here, Van Booty. Let's see what we can learn from this game. I really like starting with Pacification Array. It's such a good, very sticky artifact that can do a lot of work throughout the game. It's not very valuable in the first couple turns for playing on curve, but you can sneak it out on turn 1 for almost no downside, and it provides more than a card's worth of value because you can tap down an opponent's creature, swing in, and especially you can see here I have, it's just perfect following turn 1 and then turn 2 with the Bruiser, and although it comes in the battlefield tapped, the ability for me to tap down one of my opponent's creatures and swing through, with menace is huge. So that's why they say evasion is very good in arena format. Turn 3, we've got a couple options here. Make obsolete already would be a 1-for-1 trade. Aether Poisoner is also just a fine 2-drop that sort of fills up the board. I'm thinking through which of those I wanted to play. Make obsolete has the option to possibly in the future gain more value than just 1-for-1. And of course, you always are seeking to get better value. And I don't mind using my life as a resource total. And I'm at 18 now. So if my opponent swings 5 more times, at that point I could, probably should use the make obsolete. But the board will develop from there, so that's why I saved the card in this situation. It's also very advantageous for me to develop my own board. Aether Poisoner is a solid card. It more often than not generates another 1/1 token, and it's a very good body. Having a 1/1 with Death Touch changes combat significantly. Here I've got some other options. I found the 4th land drop. I drew a 4-drop with Pima Aether Seer. It's a 3/2 creature. I also have Hunt the Weak, which acts as removal. Hunt the Weak is really powerful here for doing Aether Poisoner. Putting it on there, giving it a +1/+1 counter, having it fight. I would die. Like I would kill off my own creature. So that's not really a good play. I think the correct play here, and we'll see if I end up doing it, is just do the 4-drop swing pass. And yeah, I think that's exactly right. You don't want to spend, I'll just do a pause really quick so that we can talk through why you should do this play. Play your drops on curve and develop the board as long as it's not putting you in such a risky situation where your opponent's going to swing and kill you or remove your creature or something like that. Here, I don't want to spend my turn, my 4 mana, on killing off their creature if it's not going to get me way far ahead. It's better to just take the early couple turns, develop your board, and then use your removal after that. Because your opponent, it's kind of like you should choose the best cards possible before this game even starts. Then the game starts, you play your best cards as efficiently as possible. And because you've made better decisions than your opponent, presumably, then your cards will outvalue your opponent's cards. If they've slipped up or they didn't, randomly just didn't get the best cards, using your knowledge base and your sometimes luck, sometimes it's not luck, and working with whatever you get, you develop the board. And then during the game, use those cards to your advantage to develop as much as possible and make your cards very valuable, and use as much take as much time as possible. It's why they say you should wait till the very last second to play your card, as long as all things are equal, because then you have more mana up and you can allow your opponent to give you more information. You don't want to wait too long. Like, I shouldn't just keep this Hunt the Weak removal in my hand forever and not use it. I should play it only when it's advantageous for me to do so. For here, I don't mind. I know my opponent has 2 flyers. They're going to swing and take off a lot of my life total, but I have a lot of life total left. There's nothing that indicates on the board I'm going to lose next turn. If you're not going to lose, develop your side of the board, because now my opponent has 2 things to deal with. They have to deal with killing me, but they also deal with the swing back. And that's the real thing with Magic, is can you survive the swing back? In limited, in draft formats, it's the best part about combat. Are you in a position where you have to challenge the center of the board and overtake board control? Because if you win the game with 2 life, you win the game. Doesn't matter. But alternatively, if you can't beat your opponent's board, what's the way you can sneak in damage to get your opponent to 0 life, and they have this huge board full of stuff? So that's the aggressor versus the value player. I'm always going to describe those 2 interactions, and it's a huge part about Magic. Let's get back to the game. You probably guys are tired of hearing me, but I hope I'm really trying to provide valuable lessons. So let me know if that's helpful to you. You've seen here that we developed the board. We created a 1/1. If he blocks my flyer with the 2/3, I'm very happy about that, because I'll trade. Even though I'm developing my board, I'm trying to go in for as much damage as possible. I don't need to save 2 mana to use the artifact, the array, or anything like that. Let's see what my opponent does. They have lots of mana open. I think they do a very strange move here, upcoming. And that is, I believe, to swing out. Yep. So while it's true that they now have me at 12 life and my opponent is technically winning in terms of life total, and they're gaining energy and they have mana up, this is a big move. My opponent passed. So they swung. They left all their cards tapped. They also left mana up. So immediately to me, that signifies I can read my opponent's brain. So presumably they want to win. They just did a suboptimal move. Why are they doing that? So to me, there's lots of things. They either have removal up, they have a flash creature up, they've got a counter spell up. So if I play the most obvious way, it probably, my opponent's thought of that and they have an answer for it. So in some ways, here, the move is, should I even play anything? Conventional knowledge is maybe my opponent has nothing. I don't buy that. I always try to envision my opponent knows exactly what they're doing and play that way. More often than not, because it's a good strategy for winning in the most amount of games. I'm not going to play like my opponent's an idiot. And if my opponent plays like I'm an idiot, I'm going to beat them because I'm not an idiot. So you maintain this mindset, you'll get more wins overall. You'll see what I do here. Just drop the land. I've got 3 options here. I know I'm going to be swinging out, but should I play the 5-drop? I almost do, and I'm pointing out to myself because I know I'm recording this. 3 cards up, 5 mana up. There's blue in there. There's no need. There's no need to play anything. I end up attacking. I'm able to use a payoff, which is nice. And we're putting the pressure on the opponent. So at that point, I end my turn, even though I could have played a 5-drop. Most players would not make, like, I'm talking the vast majority of Magic players over all time, the people I play FNM, the people I see at drafts, they would just do what I just saw. They would play their 5-drop, and it would get countered or whatever. And then you wouldn't be as ahead as you could have been. Because now the opponent just played a Planeswalker. It's going to generate them lots of value. But in this case, it's probably too late for the opponent. Okay. Opponent has just a tiny 1/2 drop. We use our mana to tap down their creature before combat. We then use the make obsolete because it makes sense at this point. We wanted to see if they would give us more creatures, like if they played another 1 toughness creature. They did not in this case. So I'm happy trading 1 for 1. Now we use our removal. Because my opponent's tapped out and they're not doing anything crazy, we can play very aggressive here. And I'm taking some time to figure this out. I know I need to defeat one of those creatures so I can swing in with my Bruiser, which has Menace, doing 3 damage. I decided to do the +1/+1 on the Bruiser because then this would give this 4 power and I would swing in uncontested. He ends up tapping his creature anyway. Doesn't really matter to me. And then we swing out for lethal. Okay. That's it. That's all. That's pretty much the lesson I wanted to give for this video. Let me know below in the comments if that video was helpful. I enjoy making this kind of content, and I am looking for any sort of interaction. I want to push out these videos. I want them to get seen. I want to help people out. I would love to give some coaching or do some co-op drafts with anyone. So let me know. I'm available, and happy drafting, everybody, and take it easy. All right. Peace out.